Hello everyone, it's Friday and still no word from UEFA about our Champions League fixture list. The latest now is that we might have to wait until tomorrow to find out. That's looking increasingly likely. Take your time, UEFA, no rush at all. Just have the weekend off actually. Come in on Monday and have a lie in and then sort it after that. Honestly, no rush at all. In the meantime though, we will have a bit of a chat about the group itself. We will hear from an event Celtic put on yesterday for, well, all types of media, but most specifically fan media, with Kyogo and Moritz Jenz. We'll hear a bit of chat from me and Stevie as well, and we'll also later on let you know what Ange had to say at today's press conference, as well as a few other bits of news. Only one place to start though, and we go now back around about a month to hear from Scott McDonald giving his big prediction for the season to come.
I'm going to go all out there and I'm going to say finally Celtic fans will love this one. We're going to get Real Madrid in the Champions League group stage.
Pretty cool that. And while we're on the topic of cool things, here's me 2 days ago picking out my ideal group.
Frankfurt, Sevilla and Sporting Lisbon.
Okay, I'm kind of taking a leaf out of both of your books, guys. I'm going Real Madrid, I'm going RB Leipzig, and I'm going Sporting Lisbon. Maybe slightly less cool, but still pretty cool. In terms of yesterday, when the draw was made, we had a pretty much immediate live reaction out on the channel with John and Dave. You can check that out on our feed. Around about the same time that they were chatting, so were me and Stevie. We were at Celtic Park. We got to ask questions to a couple of first team players and have a chat ourselves. So let's actually go back once again, this time only 24 hours, and let you hear that. Right, over to you, Hamish. Whatever you do, don't start with, right, hello everyone. Right, hello everyone. Nice background. We're at Celtic Park. The Champions League draw has happened in the past hour. We have since spoken to Kyogo and Moritz Jenz, so we thought we could just have a little bit of a chat. Obviously, the reaction was handled yesterday by John and Dave, but those guys talk nonsense, so we'll get the real big dogs in to have a discussion about the group. They're coming in 5 minutes, I think, everyone, so hang tight. Stevie, what's the thoughts? Obviously, 3 pretty good teams we've been drawn with, but there's one headline.
There is a but, indeed, yes. I mean, Real Madrid at Celtic Park, just like everyone, I think that's the one team we've never had over the years. Every time they're drawn out the pot when Celtic are in it in the past, you've always thought surely this is the time, and then it's always Barcelona or Bayern or PSG, always the same old teams. So it's I know we've played Leipzig before, we've played Shakhtar Donetsk before, but Real Madrid is just a standout. And although, you know, we were praying for a group that was winnable for us, and I actually know the group is winnable, but some of the games are winnable. I mean, at the same time, you want a bit of glamour, don't you? It's a perfect balance of, you know, winnable games, but a glamour tie like that's incredible.
I think that's a big thing, because I said in the video with Scott the other day, you could get a Bayern Munich and they're quite glamorous, but they just body Champions League groups, you know, 18 points, 16 points, 18 points. Real Madrid are glamorous, and I'm not saying we're going to beat them here or at the Bernabeu, but they do have the tendency in the groups to throw in, you know, the odd clanger like Sheriff last season. They're a knockout team for me, so I just think they're ideal. In fact, it's probably like if I had to handpick the group in terms of exactly what I wanted, in terms of, you know, a big team, glamorous night, and 2 other teams that we really can compete with, it's just so perfect.
Yeah, especially when I look at Leipzig so far this season, they haven't won a game, they've had 2 draws and a defeat. Now I know it's early days, everybody, and by the time we come to play them, we'll probably go on a run or something, be top of the Bundesliga. But other than Bayern, and I'm not being arrogant when I say it, because I think we've got to be careful with our words, that although they're winnable games and they're fanciable, at the same time, you've got to realise they are top quality opposition. You look at what we've done in Europe in the last few years, absolutely nothing. We've been garbage. You look at what, you know, Leipzig done. They've got to semi-finals, and I know
Shakhtar have been deep in the
Europa but even like before that, remember the season where Leipzig were just this away from, I think they got to the quarters or the semis of the Champions League,
and they lost to
PSG, who went on to lose in the final. But I mean, these are established European clubs, but I mean, at the same time, what I'm coming away from it is it could have been so much worse.
You look at some of the teams in Liverpool, pot 2 for example, you've got Leipzig, there's a huge disparity there, and you know, in terms of pot 3, I just think with all the factors, maybe Shakhtar aren't the weakest team there. I think they're probably better than Sporting Lisbon, but when you add in all the factors, the fact that they're not obviously playing in their country at the moment, given the the crisis that's going on there, as horrendous as that is, from a Celtic point of view and a sporting point of view, it's probably an advantage to us. We're going to go over and have an opportunity to get a result there. So I'm excited about it. It's just going to be amazing. Where do you think the target should be? Is it just football after Christmas?
I think that's the bare minimum, yeah. I think, we've got it in us to finish third, but I genuinely feel Ange will look at that ground. Knowing Ange going into everything, he just wants to win everything, so Ange will probably target winning the group. I don't think that's obviously going to happen, but at the same time, knowing Ange, and if we do invest in the squad and we sort that, some problem areas that I won't go into, and it's all about the excitement of the way to bum everyone down here. I'm not going to do it.
It's a shame you've been off the channel for so long.
Thanks for that, very sincere. No, I think Ange, if we have the right team get into it and we strengthen before the qualifiers, he will genuinely see us as a chance to progress into the knockouts. That's how he thinks, and you know it as well.
Yeah, it's just so exciting. Will we have a wee view of what both Kyogo and Moritz had to say? See, I'm in first name terms with Moritz now, but both of them just clearly beaming. Have a watch.
How ready are you and the team to play against, on paper, the best team in Europe?
もう楽しみでしかないですし、早く試合がしたくてたまらないです。本当にさっきも言いましたけど、チームがやってきたことをどれだけ出せるか、自分たちを信じてプレーできるか、個人としてもどれだけ通用して点を決めることができるのかっていうのが、すごく楽しみで仕方ないです。
Kyogo, how confident are you in the players that you'll be able to get through this group, whether it's through the Champions League last 16 or into the Europa League?
本当にいいチームメイトに、いいファンサポーターの皆さんに、いいスタッフに囲まれて練習できて試合ができているので自信はついてますし、それでもまだまだ、たくさんの選手がパスをくれている中で外している場面が多いと思うので、そういうところを一つ一つみんなを助けるっていう意味でも決めれる選手になっていかないといけないなと思ってますし、それができると思っているので。
Kyogo, how do you expect the manager to approach these games? Do you think he'll be going in the same manner as always, or do you think he'll adapt his approach for a game with, like, say, Real Madrid away from home?
どうでしょう。それは僕は分かんないですけど、でも、今まで通り変わらない自分たちがやろうとしているサッカーを監督はどんどん追求してくると思いますし、僕たちもそれを信じて、やり続けるだけだと思うので。
Hi Kyogo, last season you were awarded goal of the group stage for your goal against Ferencvaros. Have you set yourself any personal goals for this campaign?
皆さんが期待してくれる通り、僕もそれ以上のゴールを取れるようにたくさんゴールを取って、その中の一つがまたああやって選んでいただけるゴールを決めるように頑張れたらなと思います。
Hi Kyogo, I remember when we first spoke to you, when you signed, you said that you wanted kids growing up to know the name Furuhashi. How much of an opportunity do you feel in the group stage to make a massive name for yourself with some big goals?
もっともっとたくさんの人に僕の名前を覚えてもらって、セルティックのプレーヤーみんなが世界に広がるようなプレーをみんなでできたらなと思います。
Hi Kyogo, VAR's coming into play for Celtic in the Champions League. We've seen you get caught offside more than a couple of times against Hearts on Sunday. Are you hoping that VAR kind of helps you get more goals because the technology is there to make sure that you're onside basically, so no wrong calls are given?
助けになるかもしれないし、助けにならない時もあるかもしれないですけど、それでも、自分たちがやってきたことをやり続けながら、それが本当にみんながいいパスをくれるので、僕はゴールを決め続けるだけだなと思いますし、今は1点、1試合1点取ることができてますけど、1点だけじゃなくて2点、3点取れる、選手にならないといけないと思っているので、進化した自分を楽しみにしてください。
How do you think the mood will be among the players after that draw?
Sorry?
How do you feel the mood will be among the squad after the draw?
The mood?
Yeah.
Ah, sorry. Strong accent. I think the players will be, very happy, very delighted. Obviously there's a great football club also in this group as well. The that everybody has been hoping for, and it would be fantastic, a fantastic way to compete against them and see what our level is.
Hi Moritz, you've scored a couple of goals already in your Celtic career. How many do you fancy taking off Real Madrid?
First, I have to stop my goal drought. I try to be dangerous as I possibly can be in the set pieces, because we've been working a lot on set pieces. And then I will try to contribute as much as I can. Hopefully, with something in that game. We see.
Hi Moritz. Just now at Celtic, there's probably 4 centre backs that could play on any given day. How important is it to have that strong competition in there when you're going to be heading into big games against big clubs?
I think it's very important, because we're a big football club and we play in the biggest competition in the world. It's very important to have a big squad, on defensive position, on offensive position as well. Like we have our new players coming in just now. So it's very important to have a big team, to have fresh players in the last 30 minutes to maintain the highest level as possible to maybe score another goal or maybe retain the match.
Hi Moritz, you joined Celtic a month ago and you've settled in really well. Now you're looking towards these Champions League matches. Do you feel that the group are ready to play in this level of competition?
Yes, I think the group is ready to play in this level of competition. We've been working hard. There's a very good mentality at the club, a very professional mentality. As you see, we strive to have no limit on our game and to be the best every week. So we really look forward to playing in the Champions League and to compete against the best.
Hi Moritz, was one of the reasons you joined a club like Celtic to play Champions League football, and how much do you think it's going to be important for your development to test yourself against the high quality opposition?
Yes, that was also a big reason why I came to Celtic. Obviously to play for a big team, a very big team in the Champions League. It's obviously fantastic, and the second thing is, yes, it's very important for my development as a young player to match myself against the best players, to see where I am, and to continue growing as a player as well.
Hi Moritz.
Hello.
I'm guessing this is the reason that you came to Celtic, was to play in iconic games and iconic arenas like Celtic Park against the likes of Real Madrid. You're going to come up against Karim Benzema, who's probably, in my opinion, the best striker in the world. What do you think our chances are overall in the group? Do you think that we can get out of the group?
I think like every group there's a possibility to get out of the group. Like I said, it will be very difficult. All teams are very good teams because they're in the Champions League. They have been probably having good seasons in their country as well. So like I said, we will try to do our best, and the objective is obviously to get out of the group.
Moritz, how does this feel for you personally? Is this a dream coming up against Real Madrid? And a year or two ago, could you have imagined this is where you'd be right now?
Not really, if I'm honest. It's definitely one of my dreams, like who doesn't dream to play against Real Madrid and to compete in the Champions League? So definitely it's one of the biggest moments in my career.
Hi Moritz, when Celtic play domestically they sometimes have 70 or 80% possession. What challenges do you think we'll face when we're up against the likes of Real Madrid when we have much less possession?
Like you said as well, it will be more difficult because, like in Scotland we have so much possession, so many chances, and in Europe everybody will try to play, everybody will try to dominate the game. So we will have to be difficult for them. We will have to be ready to sometimes let them have the ball. We have to defend very strong, but we also have to be very brave to play and continue the way we play, because they will come at us and they try to stop us playing the way we play. So we just have to do our game.
Hi Moritz, obviously Real Madrid are the big talking point, but I want to ask you about another team, RB Leipzig, a team that I dare say you'll know a bit about, quite a controversial team in your country as well. Do you know much about them?
Yes, I know much about them. Obviously, they're quite a new team in Germany. They've been doing very well in the league for many years, and also in Europe they've been doing a quite good showing. It would be a very interesting game against them. They're an attacking, playing team. They play high intensity football, so it would be a very entertaining match.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, we'll never know for sure, but Callum McGregor came out publicly and said, Real Madrid's who we want. I get the impression in that dressing room, Real Madrid would be the common theme with players, and it's just so exciting.
And when you look at it as well, now I did say beforehand that the £129 are not everybody's financial circumstances is different, of course, and depending on how you look at it, it's either too much money or it's not as bad. I personally felt it was actually okay considering for a lot of fans. 129, when you look at now with Real Madrid, it's like 43 quid a ticket to see the best team in world football.
And Real Madrid.
Very good, Hamish. But that wasn't even scripted there. Yeah. No, it's incredible when you look at that, when it's only like £8 less to go and see us against like Livingston or something if you're getting a ticket. No brainer, man.
Yeah, agreed, man. Great to hear from Moritz Jenz, Kyogo as well. We wanted to just bring you the kind of actual audio from Kyogo yesterday and put subtitles over the top. Now, I know some of you like to just listen to this when you're out in the car or a run or whatever, so obviously, unless you're fluent in Japanese, that bit may have gone slightly over your head, but we kind of felt it was important to actually let you hear things exactly as they were, rather than dubbing a voice speaking English over Kyogo. I always just think, unless you're on Netflix, it's a bit of a strange thing to do. And even if I watch a show like Money Heist or Squid Game or something like that, I always prefer the subtitles to the dubbing anyway. The Dion dubbing, if that works. Anyway, we'll move on. We are still waiting on the fixtures at this stage. Hopefully we'll have them for you on tomorrow's video. All eyes on that Real Madrid home game for me. Maybe controversial statement, maybe not. I want it up first. I know some people maybe think if you give it match day 6, there's a fair chance that they're already through, and maybe rest players and all that kind of stuff, and we have a better chance of getting a result. Would actually dispute that. I think Real Madrid actually tend to start quite slow in group stage matches and then really pick up near the end of the campaign when it becomes more of a knockout type thing. But that's not even the real reason why I want them up first. It's not actually really a footballing issue. It's just I want the box office drama, spectacle, scenario of having the European champions returning to Celtic Park after all of these years at the same time as we return to the Champions League after slightly fewer years, but still 5 years. I just think that would be massive. I mean, it would probably be one of the biggest games on in Europe that midweek if it did happen. So praying that's what transpires when the fixtures come out, but let's be honest, we'll take Real Madrid whenever it comes, and obviously the other two aren't going to be bad games either. Interestingly enough, by the way, I was looking at how unlikely it is that we actually managed to not play Real for all of these years. If you confine it to the 21st century, it's actually pretty crazy that we haven't already played Real Madrid in a competitive fixture. We've been in 13 separate Champions League draws with them before yesterday. 10 for the group stage, 3 for the last 16. Didn't meet them in any of them at all. And then yesterday, 14th, time lucky, that's what happens. And 14 is obviously a pretty kind of notable number when you come to Real Madrid, because that's the amount of times they've won the European Cup / Champions League. But we've got one. Right, before we tackle what Ange had to say at today's press conference, just a couple of wee bits of news. Neil Lennon's Ammonia have bagged a sexy Europa League group, which I hear is exactly what he was after last night. They have been drawn with Manchester United, Real Sociedad and FC Sheriff. Very tasty. Also, in terms of Celtic, Owen Moffat looks set to leave for Blackpool. That's not the really interesting bit. The kind of interesting bit is that they're talking about it being a permanent deal, which is probably slightly surprising. But then also when you look at the first team opportunities he's had, maybe not that surprising. So seems like Owen Moffat's going to be leaving permanently for Blackpool. We'll let you know if and when that's confirmed. Ange did speak to the press today. The vast majority of the questions, as you would expect, were about the Champions League draw, to the extent where there was probably one, maybe two questions on the game on Sunday against Dundee United. Usually, for a game like this, a lot of questions would be concerning that. Team news, which was kind of shoehorned in right at the end as an extra question, is that we're basically at full strength. Gucci is back in training but won't be around for the weekend. On Haksabanovic, Ange interestingly says he can fill a number of spots in our system. I think that's a wee comment to stick an asterisk next to and maybe come back to. You wonder what those positions are. Certainly left wing is going to be one of them. In terms of Haksabanovic at the moment, Ange says he doesn't seem like he'll be involved right away. Certainly, this is me talking now, certainly doesn't seem like he's going to be starting matches for a few weeks. Maybe he could feature on the bench, on Sunday and be brought on if we're cruising. But I get the impression certainly that he's going to be a bit of a slow burn in terms of coming into the first team. Plenty of competition to get past as well. Another interesting comment from Ange. He says Haksabanovic was very keen to join Celtic. Obviously, that's a pretty important thing as far as recruitment under Ange Postecoglou is concerned. So good stuff there. Maybe on the bench this weekend, maybe not. Incredibly vague. One final thing before I go. Wednesday night, I was at Coldplay. Before, no doubt, loads of you try and batter your keyboards and your phones to criticise me for that life choice. Maybe you should also know that several of those wonderful players that we idolise were also at that rather average stadium, Hampden Park, for the concert or the gig, whatever you want to call it. Those there, off the top of my head, I think Matt O'Reilly was photographed, Jota was definitely there, Starfelt, someone else as well. Moritz Jenz was there. In fact, we were chatting to him about that yesterday. We also had, we had Aaron Moy, who I happened to bump into after the gig at Asda. He was totally brand new, especially because I'd had a few drinks and was probably telling him that I loved him about 8 times too many. But certainly a pretty quiet guy, but a hell of a nice guy. I told him that he'd been smashing so far and something about him playing the game at his own pace and just looking class. So hopefully he can continue to contribute for Celtic even more going forward, starting on Sunday at Tannadice. And that's where we'll leave it for tomorrow. On tomorrow's video, we'll have a predicted 11 for the match. We'll have insight on Dundee United, who are certainly going through a troubling period at the moment. And hopefully we'll have the fixture list for Group F of the Champions League, if UEFA fancy sorting that anytime soon.